Hey YouTube, Beardmaster180 here. One of the biggest money-making schemes Hollywood ever came up with was the idea of a sequel. Bring back characters that the people loved, throw them into another adventure, and reel the audience back in. Then if that one brings in more money, well, guess what? They're going to make another sequel. Now, a franchise has been made. But the problem with franchises is that there's something that usually kills it. Some little detail that just makes the rest of the franchise just look bad. Makes you disappointed, stuff like that. And I know that every franchise has a bad movie, one that doesn't sit well with the fans. But it can be always good. It's always good to somebody else. But 9 times out of 10, that bad movie winds up completely killing the franchise. So I am here today to run down the top 10 franchise buzzkills. Number 10. The Fast and the Furious Tokyo Drift. Now this isn't really a bad movie, but it is the weakest in the franchise. And the biggest buzzkill to the franchise from this movie is the fact that it has no real place in the Fast and Furious series. I mean, there's no returning characters except for the Vin Diesel cameo at the end, and there's no true place in the timeline. I mean, according to what I've read, the movie order goes The Fast and the Furious, Too Fast, Too Furious, Fast and Furious, the upcoming Fast 5, and then Tokyo Drift. I mean, come on! Pick a place for it and continue the series. The point of a sequel is to pick up where the previous movie left off, maybe do a prequel later on, but this is just ridiculous.
The Fast and the Furious Tokyo Drift.
Number 9. Saw 4, Saw 5. I love the Saw movies, but when you kill the main villain in the third movie and proceed to make another 4 movies, it's a little too much. Now I know Saw 3 did leave us with a bit of a cliffhanger, but the way that they should have done it, the way that I think they should have done it, is they should have just ended it like how Quentin Tarantino ended Reservoir Dogs. Leave it up to the audience to determine what happens. But, being that it was a franchise that was making lots of money, they had to do another one. And another one. And another one. And another one to end it in 3D.
I promise that my work will continue. Saw 4.
Number 8. The Final Destination. Holy shit, does this movie suck! Unlikable characters, half the deaths were given away in the trailers, and the main point that this movie's on this list, it's the same bloody story we've seen 3 times! The first introduced a great idea of having death itself as the main villain. The second had the same idea, but a slight twist thrown in to kind of make, throw a little difference into it. The third was pretty much the same plot again, with a weaker twist, and this one's biggest change? It's in 3D. That's it. No twist, no story change. It's just in 3D. Big whoop. Number 7. The Mummy, Tomb of the Dragon Emperor. This movie wasn't too bad itself, but there were a couple of big problems with it. The first thing, mummies derived from Egypt. That's why the first 2 movies took place there. But this movie took place in China. Now, I'm not too up on my ancient Chinese or anything like that, but I haven't really heard of mummies in China. And if they were, I don't really classify a stone statue as a mummy. And the biggest problem is something to those who have watched my previous top 10 video, they'd understand this. There's no Rachel Weisz in this movie. And to me, that is completely unacceptable.
Time to go. The Mummy, Tomb of the Dragon Emperor.
Number 6. Spider-Man 3. This movie had so much potential to be the best Spider-Man movie of them all. The symbiote suit was introduced, which meant that Venom would show up, Harry was going to be the new Green Goblin, and Sandman was going to be in it too. So we had 3 villains on the roster. And what do we get? A scrawny Venom who keeps the mask back, a confusing plot, and the worst thing, only 20 to 30 minutes of Spider-Man, and there was way too much Peter Parker, including the dreaded emo Parker with that jazz number. Number 5, AVP, Alien vs. Predator. This movie also had a lot of potential. You know, 2 of the greatest sci-fi horror icons together in one movie duking it out. And instead, we get a movie that has limited fighting between the two, plot holes left, right, and center from the original stories, and the worst thing that you could do to a movie like this. This movie is based off of 2 movie series that combined have 6 movies in total, and they are all R-rated movies. And they make the combination of the 2 PG-13. Why the hell would you do something like that? Why? That makes no sense. You have 2 series that are R-rated, and you're going to make one that has both of them, and you're going to make it PG-13? That isn't right. Talk about inappropriate ways to kill 2 birds with 1 stone. Number 4, Indiana Jones and the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull. Another movie that had a lot of potential. Are you seeing a pattern here? Once it was announced that a 4th Indiana Jones movie was going to be made, fans of the series jumped for joy. Did it work out? Well, it's on this list, isn't it? What fans hoped for was all the adventure and excitement from the first 3. And even though that this movie does have some of that, it is completely overshadowed by Cate Blanchett's Russian accent that makes my ears bleed, Indiana Jones surviving a nuclear explosion in a refrigerator, Shia LaBeouf randomly swinging with monkeys. Don't look at me, I didn't write this crap. And, to top it all off, aliens. Fucking aliens. Who was the dumbass that thought aliens in an Indiana Jones movie was a good idea? That's like a peanut butter and pickle sandwich. Some things just don't mix.
Well, what's he gonna do now?
I don't think he plans that far ahead.
Oh! I'd cover my ears if I were you.
Number 3, Terminator 3, The Rise of the Machines. Okay, we're gonna break the pattern here. This one, I don't think too many fans of the series were looking forward to. I mean, at the end of the second one, they destroyed all links to the cause of Judgment Day. So why make another movie? If Judgment Day has been prevented, why make another movie?
Judgment Day is inevitable.
Oh, so you're just gonna change the point of the series from there is no fate but the one that we make to, yeah, it's gonna happen anyways. You're fucked. Yeah, way to stay consistent.
Desire is irrelevant. I am a machine.
Number 2, Batman and Robin. Do I really have to go into detail with this one? This movie is considered to be probably not only the worst Batman movie, but the worst movie ever made aside from Battlefield Earth. I mean, Tim Burton decided to make a new, darker version of Batman. And then Joe Schumacher shows up and fucked everything up. Now, I know more people will say, well, hey, wasn't the first movie that Schumacher did Batman Forever? Yeah, I know. And that's sort of the declining of the Batman series. But I do still enjoy Batman Forever. There are some parts to it that I do like. But the problem that both Batman Forever and Batman and Robin have is that they are way too cheesy. Like, cheesier than the old TV show. It's like every single Arnold Schwarzenegger one line from all of his movies combined times 10 and then throw Arnold Schwarzenegger into the mix. That's just cheesy.
Partners. Family above all. Batman and Robin.
Okay. So, if Batman and Robin is only number 2, then what could possibly be worse than that to be number 1? Well, I'm going to tell you, but you should probably already know. The number 1 franchise buzzkill, the Star Wars prequel trilogy. Yeah, movies that are so bad, the entire trilogy has to be number 1. Now, in my eyes, and you Star Wars fans are gonna hate me and you're gonna blaze me or whatever, you're gonna hate me for this, but some of these aspects of these movies are good. But there are way too many problems that just overshadow these very insignificant things. Like Anakin. Damn, is he annoying. And not just that little one, but the older one, too. Then there's that sappy love story between Anakin and the Queen, or Princess, or Senator, or whatever the hell she was. Then, the pussifying of Darth Vader. Yeah, that happened. And, of course, the whatever the fuck called Jar Jar Binks. Ah! Keep him away! It burns! Ah! Man, get him off! Get him off! Now, I know a lot of people will agree with the choice of movies that I've picked. And I do have to admit that some of these movies are good if they weren't trying to pass themselves off as part of the franchises that they were in. And I also know that some people will either have different movies on their list, or these movies in a different order. But just remember that I am here giving my own personal opinion. You are in control of yours. Thanks for watching. Look forward to more videos in the future.